Hi guys, can't believe I've called this weight loss is easy. I can almost hear the lynch mob sharpening their knives now. But I should really have called it weight loss is not that hard or weight loss can be easy. However, that wouldn't have been as catchy and I might not have got any YouTube views. Not that I get that many at the moment anyway. Basically, I'm not going to tell you that weight loss is easy peasy. I am going to tell you it's been relatively easy for me. I've been on this for 35 weeks at the time of recording this and I have lost nearly 5 stone. When I first started on the 18th of January, cue picture, that was a rough idea of my shape. 7 weeks later you can see there's a reduction and I can't honestly remember what week it was. I think it was 26 weeks. There's another one. If you watch my diaries, I'm probably going to put one up on week 35. May not. It's not about measuring your success. It's definitely not about measuring my success. So why should you listen to me? A formerly fat, by the way I still am what I consider fat, middle-aged guy, over all those thin fitness gurus. Well, stick around because I've got some solid reasons for you. So you've tried all those crazy diets, the ones where you eat nothing but lettuce for a week and start hallucinating that you're a rabbit. How did that work out? We've all tried it. We've all been there. And then there's what does work though is calorie deficit. I call it calorie deficit magic. But the ultimate secret to achieving and maintaining a calorie deficit is eating your favourite foods and still losing weight. It's like a dream come true. If you stick around to the end, I'll tell you how I got there. Some people feel the need to compare calorie deficit to other methods. Yeah, some people who also follow Man United. We're going to compare some other methods in this journey as well. There's ones that make you eat cardboard like rice cakes. In all honesty though, I quite like rice cakes. Then there's the all pain no gain approach. Yeah, that really works. You get jacked off after a few weeks. You've had enough. I've been there, I've done that as well. The whole point of this is to live your life normally, have fun, have holidays, have nights out, have meals out. But I'll tell you more about that at the end. And then I think portion control can be a secret weapon when combined with food substitution. We'll talk about that later as well. And say goodbye to crazy workout routines. Yes, theoretically, exercise does burn calories. I know when I used to do exercise for weight loss, the first thing I used to do was go for something to eat afterwards because I was worried about my protein intake. When I look back at what I'd eat those days, there was no point doing the exercise. There was, because I enjoyed it and it's good for mental well-being. But let's leave that till you've got your shape down a bit, especially if you fancy something like running. You really could do with running with 20 less kilos, couldn't you? But there are things to say about exercise. Yes, it is good for you. Yes, it does burn a few calories. But when you start your journey to lose weight, it's one more thing to think about. So far, I haven't really convinced you that weight loss is easy, have I? Now I'm going to move on to tell you. So that's the intro out the way. I better deliver on some of my promises, really, hadn't I? I don't think I'll convince you by the end of this that weight loss is easy, but I will convince you it's not as hard as you think it is. So let's talk about things you've tried before. I've tried Slimming World 2 or 3 times. I've even got a picture still on my wall of all the Slimming World awards I had. Yes, it worked. Yes, I got fat again. So it didn't work. It's that simple. They're in the business of keeping you subscribing, keeping you coming, and that isn't what it's about. They also have a punitive culture. It's ridiculous. You can eat bananas all you want, but if you mash them, it's a sin. The only way that's going to make any difference at all is if they consider that the effort of chewing it burns some calories. The only way chewing a banana is going to burn some calories is if you leave the fucking skin on. Sorry, but that's just the facts. However, what Slimming World does help with is that sense of community. I've been there, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed meeting the gang, talking about our wins, our losses. £7 a week I think it is now to meet up with people. I think you could, not these days, but you could almost have, not a night out, you could meet up for a couple of drinks after work for the same price. If the channel grows, I'm hoping to duplicate that sense of community. So at the moment, there isn't much up there other than my weekly diary. That just proves I've walked the walk. Have a look. I'm going to try and put an, what did YouTube say, edutainment video out each week as well. There's already a couple up there. They're crap. Feel free to watch them. The problem was I decided to lose weight about the same time as I decided to learn how to use YouTube. Did you just say I can't use YouTube yet? Thanks. If I'd waited till I got good at YouTube, I'd still be fat. I am still fat, but I'd still be as fat as I was. I was 19 stone 5, I'm 6 foot tall. That is, according to the BMI, 7 stone overweight. According to the BMI, I'm still 2 stone overweight. You know what? That's their problem, not mine. I think I'm going to level out within the next stone. So I'm going to beat on slimming mode a lot because that's one I understand. But there's all the other fad diets. There's the Atkins. And for heaven's sake, although you're on YouTube listening to me, stop looking at beautiful influencers, male or female. Look, if I'm normally looking, I quite enjoy the looking. I was watching a girl the other day, I wish I could find a video because I'd flash it up now, that she's on a 7-day weight loss plan. Not being funny, she looks absolutely perfect. I'll tell you what's happened to her, Sharon. She has either gained weight on purpose so she can take it off. I took £8 off in my first week, anyone can do it. Or she's been on a bender weekend with her mates and she's got a lot of water retention. You can do that, I can do that, anyone can do that. So the only reason to watch these is for a bit of eye candy. But if you want to be influenced by someone who's never been the shape I was, possibly the shape you were, knock yourself out. They were never that shape. If you go back to my earlier videos, you can see that I was that shape. I've got my family looking for some older ones, older pictures now. They sent me one the other day. I look disgusting in it. I'm not even sure I want to share it. But for the greater good, I'm going to. That was just before I went on my diet. Disgusting, isn't it? So that kind of covers off all the other methods. So why do they do it? Well, simple reason is they make money at it. Lots of. The diet industry, I think the last time I heard a figure on the internet, in the UK alone is worth 4 billion a year. 4 billion. That's bigger than the gross domestic product of some countries. It's almost as much as I was spending on food when I was comfort eating, but we won't talk about that. Now, I started this journey with the hope of developing a plan that maybe I could sell like all the other dickheads. No, sorry, all the other influencers. And they're not all dickheads. There's some really funny, good people out there. I love watching James Smith. He's hilarious. Was never fat. And Sean Casey, because they've got a no bullshit approach. That's what I've tried to replicate. But the difference is I've walked the walk. And I think they cater their paid products to people who want to spend time in the gym. Please put in the comments below if you're someone who regularly spends hours in the gym. And then I'm going to answer back, why the hell are you watching me? Obviously there's exceptions. There's very few uber fit people that need to lose weight to the level that I'm talking about or I have. That is a regular gym bunny, unless they're doing it wrong. But there are some, and guess what they're doing wrong? They're not controlling their diet. This is about controlling your relationship with food. Now, I've had a shitty relationship with food. Don't know where it came from. Mum was a reasonable cook. Dad was an excellent cook. Always healthy food on the table. I joined the Air Force. Probably drunk too much beer. And I don't think I started putting on weight till my mid-20s. That's 30 years ago. Various jobs have been around, the option for crap food's been there. God, this sounds a bit like, hello, my name's Ian, I'm an alcoholic. No, but I basically went out of whack, had a couple of flirts with dieting, hit a point, went back. So I decided this time, I'm going to write my own plan. And feel free to do the same plan as me, but it's not the plan for you, it's the plan for me. And as soon as you grasp that, you're halfway towards changing your life, changing your outlook. Now for me, I'm one of these people that needs instant gratification. I don't save for a holiday, I book it so I know I'm going and then I can struggle to pay it off. I'm like that with my weight loss, I had to see results. So I attacked a target of 1,200 a day. And there's going to be people there saying, what the hell, another 1,200 a day guy. It's not 1,200 a day, it's 8,400 a week. Even when I was going hardcore, I don't think I ever actually hit that, and I don't recommend anyone should. But my first week, I targeted 1,200 a day. I lost £8 or 4 kilos if you're watching in America. I've noticed 26% of my audience are high over there. It's a healthy weight loss. You can't do it every week, but that's what I thought. For the last 35 weeks, I've targeted 1,200. I allowed my fitness pal to give me a limit of 1,900. I've since learned that 1,900 isn't really the right figure for me. Possibly because I'm getting older, I don't know. What I urge you to do is work out what your maintenance level is. For a 55-year-old 6-foot man that's 7 stone overweight, my TDEE, there's plenty of free calculators out there, is about 2,200. So to achieve a weight loss deficit, you need to target at least 500 calories below that. But don't make that your allowance, make that your limit. You don't have to. There's nothing wrong with having a 700 deficit, but you do whatever works for you. You might be happy with £1 a week weight loss. I've only started hitting £1 a week in the last 3 or 4 weeks. What has worked for me has worked. if I look back at the last 35 weeks, I've only had 2 gains. Both were after a holiday and both were followed by a massive loss. As I say, my plan, not your plan. So you've got to work out how you're going to achieve it. For me, I've gone for hardcore deficits, but I've not let it govern my life. And what I get, you've got to enjoy it. What I get my buzz out of is making sure I have 3 balanced meals that come close to that target. I'm going to flash up what I've had today because I've had quite an interesting day. I've gone to see my eldest in Birmingham. We've gone to an art gallery. We went to a pizza house for lunch and I knocked up a meal. Today has kicked in at just over 1,300. For anyone that says I'm not eating enough calories, take a look at the pictures. Overnight oats, massive protein hit there for breakfast, really filling. Pizza and fries, a bit iffy, but I've been going to this pizza house for ages. I've worked out the calories. It's more than I normally have for lunch, but I like it. Bit of walking around, got in, nice fish meal with some Japanese rice and some veggies. I've eaten okay, I'm not hungry. And what I do is during the week, I put off that breakfast as long as I can. I start work at anywhere between 6 and 7, which is, it's getting early, isn't it? I try to put that breakfast off till morning break at about 9-10 o'clock. I'm ravenous, it goes straight down. But it also gives me the boost to get to lunchtime. When everyone goes for lunch at 12:30, I'm lucky enough to push mine back to about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I get in anything from 5 o'clock onwards. If I ate at 5 o'clock, I wouldn't be hungry because I only had lunch 2-3 hours ago. I would have time to snack. Again, as I say, works for me, might not work for you. You may have family commitments during the week. I don't. I live on my own during the week because I work away. I push that meal back till 7 o'clock and I make it an event and I plan it. That's what I decide to have. And any of you who follow me on Facebook, which by the way, you're more than welcome to follow my personal account or my TikTok or my emails in the comments in the description below. I want to talk to people. I put up some what I think are lovely meals. Let's face it, I'm sure some of you out there are great cooks. I wasn't. Let's face it, you wouldn't be looking at this if you didn't know how to cook. That's how you get your sustenance. That's how you get your drug. And it is a drug. Now, I'm not saying you're all problem eaters. I don't think I was. I was a binge eater and I like good things in life. I like good food. Quite like good coffee as well, but I'm drinking it black because it saves 30-40 calories. You make the choices, you make the substitutions. That's it. You may come up with a different way. You may decide to go more protein-based, cutting out the carbs. Carbs aren't your enemy. Carbs are slow-release energy. You need some of that in your life. You also need instant energy, which you get from protein. Basically, as all the doctors say, it's a balanced diet. The problem is what I'm selling, I'm not selling anything. What I'm pushing is actually boring. But the reason nobody's really pushing it is that you can't monetize that. So what I'm hoping to achieve through my other videos is encouragement, food ideas, everything else, and passing critique on any other plans I see out there. For example, Slim Fast. What the? You have a milkshake that's about 300-ish calories. Feel free to correct me. If you go to McDonald's, you can get a milkshake that's about 300-ish calories. It's that simple. Food is just fuel. Fuel is translated from calories. If I had to have a milkshake for lunch, I'd rather have a McDonald's one, to be honest. And I know there's all this bullshit that it's more balanced, there's nutrition. There's nutrition in anything that has calories. It's good nutrition and bad nutrition. And I suppose if you're going to have Slim Fast every day, it would be better than a McDonald's thick shake. If you were just going to replace the odd meal with something sweet, go for the fucking McDonald's every time. That's the thing, you don't have to stop going to McDonald's. On one of my planned 1,200 calorie days when I'm working at the other side, I cannot drive past there. So instead of having the sausage and egg McMuffin meal, I'll have the bacon roll that's 300 calories. And instead of having that instead of breakfast, I have it as well as breakfast. On that day, I might go a bit easier on my evening meal, or I might just accept the fact I'm going to hit 1,500-1,600. Now there's the beauty of hitting a low target. A low limit. No, target limit. Whatever you want to bloody call it. It's your plan, not mine. That you can have something extra and still be within a deficit. So on the day I have a McDonald's bacon roll and I don't make my evening meal any smaller and I still have my overnight oats for breakfast, I'm going to kick in at 1,500 calories. So effing what? My deficit point would be something on 1700. I'm still 200 below a 500 deficit. I'm gonna lose weight, especially if I don't do it every day. The other option is you can't resist driving past McDonald's. You pull in and you have that for your breakfast. If you have the full one with the hash brown and maybe have a latte, you're still only looking at about 500 or 600 calories. It's only 200 above what I recommend for your breakfast anyway. Great, you've had breakfast. One thing out the way. I prefer to just treat it as an extra treat, but it's your diet. See, that's the boring thing. Nobody likes to call it a diet anymore. It's exactly what it fucking is. It's controlling your diet, you know? But that harks back to the 70s and people being on a diet. It doesn't need to be restrictive. It just needs to be stuff you enjoy and control the portion. I did a meal tonight. I use kits quite regularly because they look bloody yummy. You don't have to carry a lot of spices in the house. That kicked in at, well, according to the kit, 810. I thought, I'm not having that for my tea. I'll make a few substitutions. I swapped the mayonnaise for low-fat mayonnaise, decided not to put butter in the peas, then decided to put butter in the peas, but I used I can't believe it's not butter because it was just as nice. Eased off a bit on the chorizo, used spray oil for the bits that needed frying, wallop. Shaved off over 200 calories off that bad boy, and it tasted just as good. And I don't know, I almost get an endorphin rush out of putting a plate full of food in front of me that should be 1,000 calories, and it's only 650. Yes, it is a bit tedious adding it up. Your friends are your weighing scales in the kitchen, and I use MyFitnessPal. There's other fitness trackers out there. Just try one out, load it up, give it a whirl. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on a bit, and if I give away too much in this one, what else am I going to upload? I would love subscribers, but most importantly, I would love comments. I would love you to tell me what's working for you, or what you're trying and why you think it doesn't work, or what you're trying and ask me why it doesn't work. I've watched so many videos so you don't have to, so you can go back to watching cats on YouTube. It's more fun. But seriously, talk to me, let's get a sense of community going, and I'm not going to charge you any money for it. You're already saving £7 compared to going to Slimming World. Right, so I'm going to wrap this one up, and that'll be it. Please keep in touch, please get involved, please talk to me. I can't wait to edit this because I've rambled. There's going to be a lot of cutting and cropping, but thanks ever so much for watching. I promise to always be there as long as you want to watch it.